On the first day of Shavemas, my cube love gave to me. Let's see what Banana Claus gave me. Nano bread, rabbit peach, rabbit clown, rabbit banana, and peanut butter. Let's see what else I got. Rabbit banana, rabbit banana, rabbit banana. Oh, and a rabbit banana hollow label. Wait a minute. Barry, you and Cube, get out of here.
Really? The Banana Man? I love Lee and all, but that was crazy. Inside, how did we get inside the tub? Wait, interdimensional being? I revoke the question. Howdy. What? Okay. Googly eyes and all. So you do have a sense of humor. Okay. Howdy. And welcome back to A Texan Shaves. Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements Advent Calendar, Day 7. Oh man. All right. Let's pop the door open. Man, that was crazy. All right, Day 7. So excited. And, oh, I believe this is a Christmas past or a shave past. I'm familiar with this name, I believe. I'm not going to read it as far as the paper, but, so, you ready? You ready? Yeah? All right, sorry. I think that's a B. Organism 46B. That name seems familiar. I think I've heard people talking about this, and I think I've seen shaves of the day. Let's get my nose on it. Ooh. Is that chocolate? It is a little darker. Something else. Something chocolatey hit me right off. I sure hope I'm right, because I feel like an idiot when I'm completely in left field on these, but definitely smelled like chocolate. Let me get my nose on the aftershave. Man. Okay, something else definitely in the aftershave. Man, that's nice. Something a little herby, maybe? Well, you know what? Let me just read. Organism 46B, a monster in a bottle. In 2018, passed, Organism 46B made its debut, a scent inspired by strange and chilling tales from the icy depths of Lake Vostok, a prehistoric lake sealed under miles of ice in Antarctica. Rumor has it that something ancient and terrifying dwells beneath those frozen waters. Organism 46B, a monstrous creature with a taste for fear. But here, instead of lurking in the darkness, it's been distilled into an epic gourmand fragrance, rich, masculine, and deliciously mysterious. And there's a footnote here. Read the PAA saga Organism 46B on our blog. Go check that out. I'll actually put a link to it in the description. The scent opens with a burst of bitter orange and the smoky warmth of tobacco absolute. No chocolate yet. I didn't get the orange. The perfect bookends to a complex and multi-dimensional blend. Brandy adds a cozy, boozy warmth, while ambergris brings crisp touch of the ocean's depth secrets. There's a haunting sweetness from the burnt sugar and soft vanilla. That must be what I was getting that I thought was chocolate. I was definitely getting something sweet and definitely gourmand. Soft vanilla note that emerges in the dry down. I got it right off the bat. Thanks to the benzoin resin, creating a complex interplay of depth and richness. It's like the scent of a forgotten legend, a monster in a bottle that evokes both fear and fascination. Much like the strange weather patterns of 2018 that inspired its creation, Organism 46B is unpredictable, refreshing, and perfect for the transition from winter to spring. But don't let that fool you. This fragrance is just as home during the heat of summer, offering a cool, refreshing burst amidst the warmth. Organism 46B is a fragrance for those who are unafraid to explore the unknown, even if you have to wear a snowsuit. It is absolutely necessary for the peace and safety of mankind that some of Earth's dark and dead corners and unplumbed depths be let alone. Just sweeping abnormalities wake to resurgent life. H.P. Lovecraft. Wonderful quote, actually. All right, let me show you the insert there. Try to get it to where the light doesn't kind of wash it out for you. There we go. That's probably better. And my fingers covering some words. All right, let me put this back where it's safe. I am excited to try this one. I am slightly familiar, never had my nose on it. Let me get my nose on it again after I read that. Getting a little bit of the booziness now. I think it all tied together with what vanilla I was getting that made me think chocolate. That booziness, yeah, definitely, that's what it is. Because it wasn't quite like a solid. It was a off chocolate, if that makes any sense. That's nice though. All right, Organism 46B. All right. I'm going to whip up a lather, get some gear together, and we'll be right back for the shave. All right, we're back. Got the lather whipped up. I'm using the Phantom Aerolite. I thought I'd kind of go with the ice cool blue of the Antarctica and give you a shot of that label again. And I'm really liking that label. Going to be using the, you saw me use this in the Atomic Apple Pecan Pie, the Phoenix Starling. And I'm really liking this razor. I've been talking about it. It came in and it's here now. Man, I really like this razor. But y'all know me, I'm a Gem Blade fan. All right, I have a towel. All right, so let's get the face wet and get this shave going. I am curious, this scent, man. It's very different. Try something different. Again, 24 hours growth. Get some of this excess off here. Just keeps on giving. The lather that keeps on giving. You know, I had a couple stories prepared. I can't seem to remember them. See if they come to mind. I was editing Shave of the Day, or excuse me, a Advent Day, and the other day, and it popped in my head, and I should have wrote it down. It's something you got to do in your older age. You got to carry a notebook and write things down. Let me warm up this razor. All right, here we go. And this scent is nice. that fresh aquatic is there, and then that sweet vanilla and the booziness. I think that's what's throwing me is that aquatic scent, and then the booziness, the sweet booziness mixing together. I think is what's kind of throwing me for a loop. And right now, it's probably just my nose, because the way my sinus has been lately, but it's kind of coming in waves. Like I'll get this dark sweetness, and then I get this light freshness just back and forth. It's kind of crazy. Kind of fun at the same time, too. Oh, I think I just nicked myself behind my ear. We shall see. Felt like a bite. I know I went in at the wrong angle back there, and now I'm paying for it. That was all me. That was all me. Yeah, I think I did. No worries, I got my Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements solid alum block right here, sitting on the alum dock, right in front of me. Oh, no blood. Guess I got lucky. Maybe it's just a little pinch. Alright, so with the face, go for the second pass. Man, this is nice. It's another light one. It's not really filling my bathroom here, but it's nice. You know, I was thinking the other day, I saw another YouTuber tub load out of a small sample jar. And I was thinking, maybe I should try to tub load out of one of these Advent jars. I mean, it was small. He just tossed it in the sink and let it soak there while he was talking. Then he pulled a complete thing out of the sink and just went to town on this little bitty sample size container. And it's like, what are you doing? You know? Maybe I'll give that a go. So one of the stories that came to mind actually on yesterday's Advent, which was Snowballer, the graphic of Santa on that label reminded me of a story. So one of my first, not my first job, but my first tax-paying paper paycheck earning job was at a Six Flags theme park in Houston called Astroworld. Some of you may have known it, or some of you may have been there. Heck, some of you my age, I may have ran into you there because I worked there. I worked in the department of games and attractions. I was the one that took your money while you were trying to win your sweetheart a stuffed animal. I also worked the guess your weight and age. That's a whole other story in its own. There's a formula to it. And when women were involved, just give them the prize. So, lots of stories from this job. More stories from when I was a repo man. That's a whole other video. But anyway, back to my story. This one isn't quite Christmas time, but it has to do with ice. And the image of Santa and that sleigh made me think of this and something we called icing. A lot of things I learned on that job. And in games and attractions, I worked what was known as the spiel games. And these were the games that you gave a spiel on a megaphone. because they were multiplayer games. You had to have more than one player before you could begin the game. And, all right, I guess you might want to hear it. I still remember it after all these years. This was back in 1987, all right? Deep breath. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Astroworld takes great pride in presenting marvelous flyers. It's fast, 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 fun, 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 easy, 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 but best of all, it's only $1. So step right up and play the next exciting game of Marvelous Flyers. All you do is aim your gun at the target, make your dog rise higher and higher and higher. Whichever dog reaches top first wins the 1987 Astroworld Small Prize. Trade 2 small for a medium, 2 medium for a large, and 2 large for a jumbo. So step right up and play the next exciting game of Marvelous Flyers. So there you go. I will take that to my grave, guys. I can't believe I just put it on here for posterity. Anyway, that's not even the story. So there is a dead-end area by a Coca-Cola bottling plant on the backside. And if you don't know, Astrodome is just across the 610 loop from, well, either way, Six Flags is just across the 610 loop from the Astrodome. Yes, it still stands next to Reliance Stadium. And there was a causeway, a bridge that you would walk over or ride a tram over to get to the park. And back behind all that was a little industrial area, and there was a Coca-Cola bottling plant and a few other things. And there was a dead-end road that ended up right behind a meeting place called the Big Red Barn that companies could rent out for outings to Astroworld. And we called it the Turnaround. It was just a dead-end street. Nothing there, just a field with a dead-end street. So we would all meet there after work. And, some people would bring some booze and what have you, but one of the things we would do is called icing. Back in the day, in this time, in the 80s, in southern Texas, all of the 7-Elevens were bought out by a company called Stop and Go. Stop and Go carried blocks of ice. We always kept a towel in our vehicle. We would go and buy blocks of ice, and then we would drive to Herman Park, which is like Central Park, downtown Houston, Herman Park. It's where the zoo's at. It's where the Museum of Natural Science is. There's an outdoor amphitheater. And it's at that outdoor amphitheater that we'd go to. And it was built up on a hill, had the stadium seats going down facing the theater, and then the backside was a steep hill. So at the top of this hill, we would sit, put a towel on a block of ice, sit on that block, and we'd slide down that hill. Of course, we may have imbibed in a few alcoholic beverages before doing so, but we called it icing. And that was the thought of that image of Santa, the way he was in that sleigh, reminded me of what I thought I looked like sliding down a block of ice on my butt down this grassy hill in the middle of Houston. So yeah, that's the story. Let me know if any of you have any weird stories from your youth or first jobs, if you did any crazy stuff like that. I mean, I got a ton of crazy youth stories, man. I'm so glad there weren't camera phones back then. Whew, man. Some stories will never leave my lips again. Especially not on YouTube. All right. Sorry, I took forever to get to that story, didn't I? There were like a bunch of mini stories in between. Man, this razor is so good. It has to be the most efficient gym razor I have, honestly. Probably the same as my Blackland Saber on the V2 on the 4-plate. Probably. I'll have to compare the two. I just got it back. I let good friend John Venturino, you may know him, I let him borrow it for a while, and I just got it back. He's a stubble meat steel. think it might be about time to call it quits on this blade though. I think this is my 4th shave on this blade. I normally am a one and done, but I was running low on gem blades. I've since got 100, but so I have been kind of conserving them, and I think this is the 3rd or 4th shave, which is usually not a problem with a gem blade or an injector blade or an AC blade for me. All right. All right, gonna rinse face, come up for the splash, and my final thoughts. You know, I kept lathering up right here, but I just totally forgot to shave. I'm just not used to it. It's not a habit to shave there, because I used to let all that just grow, and I would just use clippers and trim it down. So I'll have to get it in the morning. I'll clean it up a little bit before I go to work. All right. Let's talk more about this scent real quick. I'm really curious about it. I'm going to pull the paper back out. Man, it's familiar too. There's something very familiar. Okay. Definitely more of the citrus this time for sure. Right off the bat, yeah, right off the bat, it's citrus. So I see that now. Definitely on the top. Not getting so much of the sugar this time. I got it almost immediately in the soap, but I'll have to wait for the dry down. It's a lot of this. You know, a lot of times, like I told you before, these are first impressions because before I've experienced it through using it all the way through the dry down, and I can talk more about it, but I can't tell you if this is going to be a magical dry down or not. So we're going to leave it at that. But yeah, the splash definitely is hitting different on the top notes, the opening, than the soap did for me, at least, which is nice. I guess it's giving me a little bit of both worlds without me having to wait for the dry down, but we'll see. Okay, it's starting to turn a little darker, but I'll have to let you know next video, I guess. Or like I said, I'm gonna do a top 10 after all these are done. I'm gonna put together my top 10 out of the Advent. I think that'll be a fun video. So well, not top 10, just my favorites, just a list of my favorites. I'll go over all of them and I'm gonna tell you which ones are my favorites. So all 12. Thanks for being here. Find your peace in what and where you can. Happy holidays. We'll see you next time on the Texan Shaves. Goodbye.